What's up YouTube? Got a new video today. We're working on the 6.0. Gonna be swapping the two-wheel drive system to the four-wheel drive system. Got the four-wheel drive axle. I'm currently already in the process of it because I filmed most of it and I realized I filmed it vertical, so I want to film it horizontal. Editing future self me here. I'm going to throw in some of those vertical videos because they are easier to see and explain exactly what to take off. Start tearing it down. I'm gonna take off the front bumper, jack the truck up, take tires off, start disassembling. All right, let's go. Take off the caliper on both sides because I don't want brake fluid leaking everywhere. You can just leave it with there if your axle comes with a new caliper and rotor. So, but I don't want brake fluid leaking everywhere, so I'm just gonna pop the caliper off, tie it up there, and then undo the top shock mount so this can just drop out. And then you got to undo this up here because the spring is actually bolted down into the bottom of the suspension, so it won't plop out just like your normal four-wheel drive spring. So next we're going to do the tie rod ends, just undo that, sway bar end links, undo the I-beam from the bottom of the engine cross member so it can drop down, everything will be able to drop down. And then last thing to take out is the radius arm bolt, and this whole thing will drop out, and then we'll repeat it and do it on the other side. Undo the shock. That shock sucked. The bolt on the top was actually rounded out and the thing was spinning, the pin top of it. I even had a wrench on the nut up here and it was still spinning, so it must have broken here up somewhere. But I had to use a hacksaw and cut that off. On the other side, just used a grinder wheel on the inside because it's easier to get to. Couldn't use a cutoff wheel in here because there's so many brake lines and wiring systems and all that, but on that side you can see that one's really accessible to get to with just the grinding wheel. But yeah, after you get all that done, all that's left to do is unbolt it down from the radius arm. Your new four-wheel drive radius arm will use the rear hole instead of the front hole because it's longer. Once you get that bolt out, you got to get out the I-beam suspension from the bottom of the engine cross member, drop out your sway bar, undo the pitman arm, and your steering system will come down with the single steering stabilizer that it has. I already have the other side pretty much torn down. I put the wheel back on this side, maybe see if it'll roll easier. I don't have much space in here, so I'm gonna see if it rolls easier. If not, oh well. But yeah, let me get to taking off these two bolts on this side, take this side off, and then after that, all that's left to do is take out the two-wheel drive coil buckets, because those will not work for four-wheel drive. You will have to get four-wheel drive coil buckets from Ford or somewhere else. I mean, the price I paid for both of them is like $260, I believe. One side is cheaper than the other. I don't know why. Don't ask me. But all right, let's get to it. And here we are. Pretty much everything all out. All that's left is to get the coil buckets out, the two-wheel drive ones, the two-wheel drive pitman arm, the I-beam brackets, and a couple more brackets, and then we're ready to start going with four-wheel drive stuff. Here is all the two-wheel drive stuff. This is the I-beam that goes to the back of the cross member, and the engine cross member. That's the radius arm two-wheel drive. Like I said, the springs are bolted in on the bottom. Shocks came out. Here's what the springs bolt to. So they kind of go like this up in the frame, and then that's what holds them. Chintzy, but guess it works. But there's that. Got the caliper off. I got the brake line off up by the coil bucket, so I'm ready to start cutting these out. There's just 4 rivets up here and then 2 rivets on the bottom. Gonna go ahead and use a die grinder and just cut a star into them, and then use the air hammer and chisel them away. I don't have torches with me or in here, so I'm just gonna do with what I have. Torches would definitely be easier. But we got that out, and also we took out the two-wheel drive I-beam brackets. There was one right there, another one on this side, and then another little bracket that was up on the other side. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I have really nice, easy access to this steering box with the engine out. And that would suck to have the steering box go out after I do all this work and put the engine in. I mean, people do it, but it'd be a tight squeeze. So now I'm thinking of just replacing the steering box and getting a nice blue top or a red top. So I'm at that point. But I'm gonna cut out these coil buckets. I'll see you after it's done. Well, now we got all the two-wheel drive system out. We're gonna go ahead and putting it back together with the four-wheel drive system in the next video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe.